Today I want to talk about another Mashpia whose yahrzeit is, I believe, Lag BaOmer or day after Lag BaOmer, Rabbi Shlomo Kesselman. Rabbi Shlomo Chaim was a tremendous Yid. He was born yet in the 1890s. He learned in Lubavitcher in Tomchei Temimim for many years. And he became a dugma, a semel, an example of Mashpia, of what a Mashpia is. And this is our series called B'darkei Rabbeinu Nisiyenu, and the ways, the pathways of our Rebbes, our leaders. We discuss Mashpiim and messages and lessons we take from their life for us today. Rabbi Shlomo Chaim, who happened to be my father's Mashpia in Lud, the Lubavitcher Yeshiva in Eretz Yisrael started in Lud. Today it's in Kfar Chabad. But it was in Lud from, I believe, 1949 to 1961 or 62. And he was an individual who didn't come from a Lubavitcher home. But once he came to the Yeshiva Tomchei Temimim, he was transformed, completely transformed, with a complete devotion to the messages of Chabad Chasidism and to the lifestyle. His character was such that he had a good psychological approach without knowing that it's psychology. In other words, he took from Chasidism methods and ways to inspire others, in particular his students, to develop their character. He demanded of the students avodas atfila. Avodas atfila means service of prayer, meaning to pray at length, to study Chasidus before, to think Chasidus before prayer and during davening. To daven with devotion, to daven slow, not to rush your davening. He also spoke to the students about what's called in Chabad iskafia, to hold yourself back, to subjugate yourself from taivas, from indulgences, in particular indulgences in food. Rabbi Shlomo Chaim lived this way. Just for example, the late Chassid, Rabbi Moshe Slonim, was driving his car in Kfar Chabad one Thursday night. It was late at night, and he sees his Mashpia, Rabbi Shlomo Chaim, walking on the street, walking. So he rolled his window down. He said, Rabbi Shlomo Chaim, would you like a ride home? Rabbi Shlomo Chaim said, it's fine. He said, why are you up so late? So he said, because when he was in Tomchei Temimim in the Yeshiva, the Lubavitcher Yeshiva, the Rebbe Rashab told him, after he asked the Rebbe for a tikkun, for some corrective measure and method for something that he had done which he felt was wrong, the Rebbe Rashab said he should be up all night, Thursday night, learning Torah. And now in his older age, it's very hard for him to be up. So what he does is he takes a break and he walks outside, or he walks a little bit outside to keep him up. This was 50 years after the Rashab told him this. So Rabbi Shlomo Chaim was someone who worked on himself. He didn't just preach, he worked on himself. My father tells me the style that he used was ava, love. We spoke earlier in the first clip of this series, B'darkei Rabbeinu Nisiyenu. We spoke about Reb Nissen Nemanov. His style, Reb Nissen's, was yira, awe, fear, discipline. Reb Shlomo Chaim was more colorful, you could say. His style was ava. My father tells me Reb Shlomo Chaim would put his hand around my father. This was when he was a teenager, 15, 16, 17, and say, how are you doing? He went over to you. He was warmer. That was his approach, ava. This teaches us anash, in anashuls, the importance of a mashpia. Once you already have a mashpia and you pay for a mashpia, You invest money in a Mashpia, specifically. You go to the rabbi, to the Chabad al-Shliach, to the Rav, and say, I want to give a donation every month to pay towards a Mashpia. And this type of Mashpia is a Mashpia that uses ava, love, kindness, warmth, but with smarts. It doesn't mean he was lovey-dovey. He wasn't lovey-dovey. So it's very important when we celebrate the life of a chassid and a mashpia, like Rabbi Chaim Dalfin, to understand the style that he used, the method that he used, and the result are in his students. Most of the previous generations mashpia, when I say previous generation, I mean of this 50s, 60s, were his students, Rabbi Kesselman and others.